as you can see, we are doing somewhat of a March Madness bracket style video. Yes, it is March, which I am going to be start making more March Madness bracket style videos. I already did a gameplay video one so far. Last year I did a very sort of smash hit. I did a Marvel superhero one, which is really cool. Maybe I'll do another one. Maybe outside of basketball, maybe I'll do like a Disney movie food restaurant one. I gotta think of other ideas for doing more March Madness bracket style videos, but today we're doing one on the best player in the NBA, which I know. Before I start this video, make sure you right there are paying attention right now. My eyes are on you right now. This video is just for fun. It's just for entertainment. It's just for relaxation. It's just for whatever you get out of this video. This video is not set in stone. It does not hurt or harm the player in any way, shape, or form. This is just my opinion, and my opinion is dog duty trash. Does not matter. It's super irrelevant. So whatever I say in this video, if I say like De'Aaron Fox is the best player in the NBA, then De'Aaron Fox is the best player in the NBA to me. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to anyone. It's just I'm speaking it out to the world in whispers, in relaxation, and trigger sounds, making you hopefully entertained or feel better in some way, shape, or form. So keep that in mind. We're all just here having a good time, so let's just keep the good vibes going. I always have to say it whenever I do these types of videos. It's really sad, but I guess I have to make like some sort of warning sign. But a lot of you guys are really chill with it, and I really do appreciate you. Love you guys. Also, before this video gets started, make sure you like the video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. We're like 150 subs away from 6K, which, oh my god, that's so crazy. Like 6K, then like 7.5K, then 10K. Like 10K by the end of the year. Like, dude, that would be. I can't even. I don't even want to think about that. But yeah, make sure to subscribe. Also, just a heads up, guys. I have been uploading daily for basically like 4 months now, since like December, which is so crazy to think about. Probably more than that, maybe like 5 months. I've been uploading nearly daily for like 4 or 5 months now, so that's crazy. I am getting my wisdom teeth out at the end of this month, which might stop that trend. Some days I might have to post, I might have to film twice a day in some days, because I am going to get my wisdom teeth pulled, and I do not want to film or do anything during that time. So it might end there. It might end there. It might not. It might even be before then. It might be tomorrow. Who knows? But I'm just letting you guys know. It's been super crazy, and I've definitely learned a lot. I've missed out on a lot, like sleep for sure. But I just want to know how much I appreciate you guys during this time, and just how the hard work that I put into, and the support you guys have given back to me is so immense, and I just want to thank you guys so much for that. And yeah, I think we can finally get started with tonight's video. Okay, so taking a look at the matchups we have here. So this is basically just who is the best player, I guess all around, or even just the best player in your opinion in the NBA. It could be, how well their team is doing, individual scoring wise, or just any way you want to put it. Who is the best player in the NBA? So I would love for you guys to sort of do this bracket on your own, maybe while you're relaxing, or maybe while you're just closing your eyes trying to sleep. Have a little bit of fun before going to bed. And yeah, I'd love to know you guys' opinions down in the comment section below on that. So we have matchups here. And no, this is not 1v1. I know when people see one player, they instantly think it's like a 1v1 matchup. No, it's not 1v1. It's that player and that player. Who do you think is better, quote unquote? So in the first matchup, we have LeBron James and Jimmy Butler. And no, this is not like an NCAA tournament where it's like Jimmy Butler's like the worst player in this bracket. It's just where they're matching these people up. So it's LeBron James and Jimmy Butler. The second matchup is very funny. Damian Lillard and Luka Doncic. Wow, what a great place they put it. We have Giannis Antetokounmpo and James Harden. We also have Bradley Beal and Steph Curry, which, yeah, that's also a super duper tough one. And also, I probably should have mentioned this at the beginning of the video, but this bracket is from the Instagram page Sports Alert Daily. So second half of the bracket, we have Kevin Durant and Paul George. That's a pretty good one. The next matchup is Joel Embiid and Nikola Jokic. Wow, who could have guessed? Anthony Davis and Jason Tatum in the next tier of brackets, and then we have Kyrie Irving and Kawhi Leonard. So this is probably a good list for like top 20 players. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. So it's actually almost top 15. But there's some players on there you could probably throw in there if you really wanted to. But hey, this is a pretty decent list so far. Okay, so with doing these, I could just go, down the list and down the list, which is probably what I should do. But I'm going to go through the easy matchups first. Well, easy, the ones that I think are easier to me to sort of work out on my own, and then I'm going to do the harder matches up later. So, no offense to the ones I say first, these are just easier in my head to do, and not sort of have to talk through a whole lot. But we have LeBron James and Jimmy Butler. We saw this matchup in the finals, and Jimmy Butler actually put up a pretty good fight by himself, pretty much willing the Miami Heat to, I think, 5 or 6 games, which is super crazy. Which, I mean, the Lakers probably should have won earlier than that because of Danny Green's missed 3, but Jimmy Butler was amazing, triple-double. Jimmy Butler, we've never seen Jimmy Butler play at that level. So far this season, though, not so great, and I like Jimmy Butler defensively a whole lot, but offensively, I think LeBron can just do more. Leadership-wise, can do more. Basketball IQ-wise, all around, probably can do more. So, I love Jimmy Butler. I gotta say LeBron. So, LeBron, moving on to the second round. Next one, Bradley Beal, Steph Curry. Bradley Beal, arguably, the best scorer in the NBA. You could argue because he's averaging the most points in the NBA. Super talented scorer, super talented three-point shooter, mid-range shooter, can get to the basket, super crafty with how he scores. The dude is a walking bucket, and I'm very excited to see him in the All-Star game because this dude could be a sleeper for the MVP for the All-Star game, so it's going to be very, very exciting to see. It's Steph Curry, though. I mean, Steph Curry's still the greatest shooter of all time. Great leader, great floor general. He changes the game and the flow of the game, and just changes how the game is played so easily. It's so crazy. So I'm taking Steph Curry. That one is, in my opinion, pretty easy. Kevin Durant, Paul George. Even though Paul George is having his most efficient season of all of his career, which, I mean, it says a lot because Paul George has always been one of the top players in the NBA. He is on a very good team, but we all know Kawhi is a major factor into that, but also Paul George is playing very well. But Kevin Durant is still MVP candidate. Kevin Durant, top scorer in the NBA. Kevin Durant, great defender in the NBA. Kevin Durant, he still looks like he hasn't lost a step, which is super terrifying. So, I mean, if that's facts, then I'm taking Kevin Durant. But Paul George is a player I would love to have on my team because he's just so good, like, at everything. So I think Paul George is a great player, but obviously not on Kevin Durant's level, no offense. Another quick one. This one is not so quick, but it can be sort of thrown out there. Anthony Davis and Jason Tatum. If it's scoring, I mean, obviously, Jason Tatum is a great scorer. The dude can almost average 30 points per game this year. Like, he can take over a game. He can be the best scorer on a championship contending team at one point in time. I think he will be. At some point, he will be the best player on a championship winning team. But obviously with Anthony Davis, dude, and even though this year he is not doing as well as we would all hope he would do, he's still a great scorer and an amazing defender. Great at rebounding the ball. Great paint presence. Like, I think again, just a more all-around game. He's just better at, and he's also older, more leadership. He can do more too. Like, Anthony Davis plays almost like Kevin Durant, like a 6'11" type of guard. But obviously Kevin Durant is just a quicker version of him. So, yeah, I think I gotta pick Anthony Davis. No offense to Jason Tatum. Again, give him 2-3 years, he's gonna be a top 5, probably the players and just how crazy the NBA lifestyle is and how you have to put yourself on a different pedestal as everyone else. And it's kind of like cringy and weird to see NBA fans shun and like hate on Kyrie for just like being himself, expressing himself the way he wants to. I think that's kind of weird. So, I feel for him a lot, and that really sucks. But more basketball skill wise, he's one of the best handlers in the NBA. He's almost averaging 30 points per game this year, like a great player. But again, it kind of hurts me. Kawhi is such a good all-around player. Like I just can't. Like the defense of Kawhi is just as good as his offense. And his offense is super good as well. Like he's averaging like 25 points per game this year. Like, and great shooting numbers, by the way. It's not like it's like it's stuff stats. Like he's actually performing very well, and I think he should be more talked about this year. I'm surprised the Clippers aren't. They're still, I say this in like all my videos, the Clippers are still my pick to win the title this year. I think they're still very good this year, and I think they're almost like a sleeper pick because everyone keeps talking about the Nets and the Lakers and all the other teams. I think the Clippers are still my favorite to win the title, so I'm gonna pick Kawhi. So now we're talking about the more harder ones. Going back to the top left-hand quarter, we have Dame and Luka, and for some people this could be really easy, but for me it's hard. And even though, as you can see, all around my room and all my videos, I have a lot of Portland Trailblazer stuff. I am a Portland Trailblazer fan. Damian Lillard is in fact my favorite player of all time. I think he's the greatest player of all time. He's done more for the city than any player ever has, even though Bill Walton has brought a title to Portland, and Clutch actually did a lot for us in the 90s. I don't think anyone's put the spotlight on Portland like Damian has, and I really love him for that, obviously. But man, Luka Doncic, dude, again, he can just do so much offensively. It's crazy, and he does it very well. And I see a lot of spurts of him being almost like an offensive style version of LeBron, just without like the finishing, dunking, strength ability, but like playmaking, the way he gets his teammates involved, like the floor generalness of Luka is sort of in him, sort of like LeBron and all the sort of great point guards of almost all time. Like he's on that level. I mean, it's his second year, third year in the NBA, and the dude's balling out of his mind, like MVP candidate and everything like that. It's so crazy. Oh man, it's really tough for me, and it's like I can say, oh, this player's better on defense than the other one because they're both like not great defenders. Oh man, I mean, one of them is definitely a better shooter, and Damian is a far better shooter than Luka. Luka shoots the three like a good player, like a 35% three-point shooter. Damian shoots it like a 39% three-point shooter, and does it at a distance, does it while being double-teamed, does it on crazy shots. And that's one thing I could definitely put Dame over, is he's definitely a better shooter, maybe even a scorer all around. Luka's he's definitely a better rebounder. Obviously, Luka's a triple-double threat every night. And then if you look at their assist numbers, they're basically the same. I mean, obviously Luka probably averages a little bit more. Again, triple-double Luka, we all know that. But Dame is averaging 8 to 9 assists this year, so it's like they're very far off on that sort of thing. Portland is doing better than Dallas is, and Dallas has, Kristaps Porzingis, which is definitely way better than any player that Portland has. I mean, we have Gary Trent Jr. as our second best player. You could argue like Carmelo if you really want to, but I don't know if you would flip those players around. Like, what team would be better off with Dame on Dallas and Luka on the Blazers? Like, I don't know. That's crazy. I guess it's just whatever you want it to be, and I do think the shooting ability, and maybe even like the just the leadership Dame has. I know Luka's a good leader. He's obviously, he pulls his team out of the gutter all the time, but I think I just gotta go Damian. I don't know. They're both just so good. It's just pick your poison, I guess. And I guess I value shooting in the NBA more in today's game than I would just a guy who could rebound more and maybe put up like one or two extra assists a game, I guess. And Luka is bigger, but I mean, size in the NBA doesn't really matter a whole lot. I think I'm just gonna pick Dame. I think shooting in the NBA is so important, and his clutch ability, like, my God. I mean, even just last night against the Kings. Did you guys see that against the Kings? And the night before against the Warriors, like, dude, the clutch ability of Dame is insane. It's it's insane with Luka. But I think Dame is just a smidget above. So I'm picking Dame. Next up, Giannis and Harden. Oh my god. Like, this is so stupid. Like, these are crazy matchups. These are not easy at all. Oh my god. I mean, it's so crazy because individually, and that's the way you have to think about it, like, Giannis is so valuable to Milwaukee. It's actually insane. If Milwaukee even had a different all-star on their team, like any all-star, that team would be drastically different. Maybe even not even a playoff team. Like, Giannis makes up so much of the Milwaukee Bucks. It's crazy. And Harden was that in Houston, but now when he's on the Nets, he is still very valuable of a player. He is a better shooter, but man, Giannis does so much. And this one you can definitely say Giannis is a way better defender than Harden is. Harden isn't a bad defender. I know that's a dead meme, dead joke, because he's actually a pretty decent one. Giannis is head and shoulders above that, so I think all the way around, I gotta pick Giannis, and that kind of hurts me, because I actually really do enjoy watching James Harden, especially this year. James Harden, this might be my favorite version of James Harden, because he's such a good facilitator and passer, and very, like, he's really trying, and I can see that he's really trying to be that guy for the Nets, the glue guy for the Nets, where he can let, hey, Kyrie, hey, Katie, do your thing. I'm just here to help, and I love that he's doing that this year. So James Harden gets the okay for me this year, but I gotta pick Giannis. We have Embiid, we have Joker. I could think about this for about an hour, not even come up with a winner, but again, it's really a pick your poison one. Same thing with Harden and Giannis, same thing with Dame and Luka. It's just what you think, and they're both really good, and I do think offensively they're both very gifted, and they can both shoot the three. It's crazy. They're both good rebounders, which is crazy. They're both triple-double threats, but Jokic is a vastly better facilitator, maybe the best passing big man of all time. And then with Joel Embiid, in my opinion, he's a very much better defender. So it's either defense or facilitating slash, passing ability. And man, that's interesting. But I think for this time, I gotta go with Joel Embiid, just because I feel like his defense ability, the way he moves, the way he plays on the floor when he's at his peak, and this is it, when he's at his peak, the best he can, I think he is better. I think if you want like a whole season of a team or a player, I think obviously Jokic is an amazing player. Jokic is an amazing player to have for like an entire season or even an entire career. But if we're just talking about, at their peak, who is better, I gotta pick Joel Embiid. I think I have to. I think I did all the other ones. Kawhi, yeah, I did Kawhi and Kyrie Irving. Okay, so second round matchups, we have LeBron, Lillard. Again, very easy. I love me some Dame. We just talked about that a whole lot, and he barely got past Luka in my eyes. He's not getting past LeBron. LeBron is still an amazing player all around. We all know about LeBron. I'm taking LeBron over Damian, even though Dame is definitely a better shooter. Both pretty valuable when it comes to leadership. Like, these guys both are just locker room guys that just are adored by their teammates and are very much highly looked up to the team as well. I think Dame is one of the best leaders in sports. I think the same way of LeBron. But obviously LeBron just is LeBron. He does it all, especially at his peak LeBron. That's a terrifying man, so I'm picking LeBron to move on. Then we have Giannis and Curry. Oh man. Again, you take Curry off the Warriors. They're dog duty. We saw that last year. You take Giannis off the Bucks. That team's not looking any better, in my opinion. Yikes. They're both just they're so good, and they're just so valued, and they're just so much, like, into today's NBA. Like, Steph changed the NBA, and then with Giannis, with his size, being nearly a 7-footer who just does everything. Like, we've never seen a player like that before, besides, like, people always compare Giannis with, like, Steph can control the game is what's more important. I like Giannis a lot, but it's hard to like give Giannis the ball and say, "Hey, Giannis, go win us a game." I mean, obviously we all know what Giannis is doing. He's driving head down just to the rim and praying for something to sort of happen. He's a good playmaker, but obviously Steph Curry's head and shoulders above him on that. I mean, IQ-wise, I would give it to Steph. I mean, sure, you can say, "Oh my God, defense." Talk about defense ASMballeR. Well, that is very true. I mean, but we've seen Giannis shy away from great defensive moments in the past. In regular season games, in playoff games, he just sometimes doesn't show up, and Curry's always been sort of good at that. I think I just gotta pick Steph. Steph is playing so good this year. I think I have to pick Steph. I think I'm gonna pick Steph. No offense to Giannis, but Steph Curry is back, baby. Like, I gotta give it to him. Then we have Katie and Embiid. Embiid is an MVP candidate. I can say the same thing with Kevin Durant. They're both on very good teams this year, and man, are both very valued. I just think Durant is just still too good, even though after his injury is still good enough to be considered one of the best players in the entire NBA. And I like Embiid. I just don't think he's there yet. I don't even think Joel Embiid's at his peak yet. I think Joel Embiid could even get better, which is terrifying. But man, I don't know. I think just Kevin Durant is he is such a feared player in the NBA, man. Like, he strikes fear in all NBA players, even, LeBron and Kawhi and Giannis, like those top guys. I think KD still it scares them because KD's just so good. He can go for 50 points in a game if he felt like it, but he doesn't need to. I just gotta pick Kevin Durant. I think we can all sort of agree on that one. Then we have AD and Kawhi, and with AD being over Tatum this year, like, AD's good, like I said, but this year is not really there. Now, if it's like all-time AD and all-time Kawhi, that's a very interesting conversation we could have. But I'm taking Kawhi. Even this year, Kawhi's just having such a good all-around season. I think I just have to go to Kawhi over AD. That's probably the easiest one I could probably do so far. Hopefully AD comes back and plays better. I really hope so, but we're gonna just have to see. Okay, the conference finals for this March Madness style bracket is LeBron and Curry, Kevin Durant and Kawhi Leonard. Holy poop! That's again, this is all for fun, by the way. I'm having a lot of fun. I love talking about this stuff. It's very fun, and to me, talk to myself, which is kind of weird, but I'm also talking to you right there. So LeBron and Curry. This is just like the battle of the past like 5-6 years in the NBA. Like, it's so crazy how wildly respected all these players are on themselves. We had LeBron pick. I'm sorry, I'm sort of moving right now. We had LeBron pick Steph Curry for his All-Star team, which was super cool to see. And Kevin Durant also has Kawhi Leonard, which is super cool to see, because obviously with the 2019 championship going to the Toronto Raptors and KD versus Kawhi, that was sort of a thing going on there. We also have LeBron versus Steph Curry, which is kind of cool to see, but man. I think, again, Steph is playing so good this year, but man, we've seen what happens when LeBron doesn't play for the Lakers, and that team is dog duty now. And I've heard people like say this on Twitter, and like, I'm sure they're trolling, but if they've been saying, "Oh my God, the Lakers would be so much better off if it was LeBron that was out and not Anthony Davis," that is such cap. That is just the biggest cap I've ever heard. If you think that, I mean, you can't think that. That's cool, but I definitely do not think that. I think LeBron just push like 4 or 5 threes in an NBA game now, which is crazy to think about. So I think I'm gonna go with LeBron. He is just so important. And I'm not saying Steph isn't. Steph is. He's a very good player, but man, now I have Kevin Durant and Kawhi Leonard, and this one is actually kind of interesting because offensively, we know KD is arguably the best scorer in the NBA, most gifted scorer maybe even of all time. Like, the dude's 7 foot, can shoot threes from like 35, 40 feet, and is so lengthy it's even hard to guard him as a normal NBA player. So, and then you have Kawhi, which people call him one of the best two-way players of all time. People compare him to Scottie Pippen. You know, it's so crazy how well Lee talked about he is on his defensive end. It's crazy. Oh man, I just think that the offensive capability of Kevin Durant is so immersive, and the fact that he's also like a good defender is what's crazy. I think the offensive capability just is like slightly above just like the defensive Kawhi can be, but I think KD's also a really good defender. And I know Kawhi is a really good, offensive player as well, but I think just KD is just more of a player, if that makes any sense. And I know I'm probably finishing that off kind of quickly, but I don't know. I could talk about that all the time and just even talk my way out of picking the player I want to. But I think I'm gonna go with Kevin Durant. So we have here in the finals of this March Madness style bracket, we have Kevin Durant and we have LeBron James, which I feel like has always been the sort of talk of the NBA for the past 5 years. Who is better? Who is better? Who is better? Who is better? And again, the scoring ability of Kevin Durant is so great. It is better than LeBron's. I will say that. I'm not stupid. I know KD is a better scorer than LeBron. But I think LeBron, and this might spoil it, I think LeBron can do everything else better than Kevin Durant besides scoring the ball. He's a better facilitator, he's a better rebounder, he's arguably a better defender when the game counts. And we've seen that in NBA Finals, we've seen that in NBA playoffs, we've seen that even just regular season NBA games. LeBron, when he wants to, he can. He doesn't need to, and doesn't probably want to all the time, but he can. And again, the leadership of LeBron, the way the game shifts and moves around LeBron, it's so immersive, immense. It's so immense that it makes me want to pick LeBron right now. But KD, like we were just talking about against Kawhi, is such a good scorer, such a good defender. He does everything so well. And I'm not saying he's a bad facilitator. He's not a bad one, but it's just one of the things where you think about it, and LeBron is just, I think, a better player all around than Kevin Durant. Let me look up Kevin Durant's assists. Like, he's averaging 7 and 5. Like, he's averaging 37 and 5. That's not bad. That's like almost like some of his best numbers of his career. Plus, he's playing on a team with 2 superstars. Even having those numbers, like, that's really good. So, I don't know, man. It's a tough one for me, and no, I'm not, a LeBron, blank writer. It's not like I'm not a fan of, like, the Mickey Mouse dog. I think it's really funny. I just think LeBron, in my opinion, right now, I think he's still arguably the best player in the NBA. So I think I'm gonna pick LeBron. I think if you want to pick Kevin Durant, that is so cool. Like, yes, like that is a correct answer. If you want to pick Giannis, like, yes, that is a correct answer. If you want to pick Curry, that is a correct answer. I think any player you want to pick, that is a correct answer, as long as you think it is, and that's cool. It's just, in my opinion, I think, again, just the all-around game that LeBron has, even adding a three-point shot, is still really good, and I'm still going to pick him to be the best player in the NBA. I really like this idea of doing different sort of March Madness style brackets while it is March right now, and I will be doing a NCAA March Madness tournament bracket at some point. Whenever those things are announced, I'll do one. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Again, this was just for fun, entertainment, relaxation.